Oh, I just realized. Okay. All right, Kyle, what do you got to say?
So as you all know, the UnitedHealth CEO was murdered last week, and they still don't have a name for dude yet, for the one who carried it out. It's kind of crazy, right? First of all, the NYPD...
Well, now we have a name. Now this is obviously not updated, so ignore the front part of this.
PD gets like $1 gazillion every year. And they released like 3 or 4 different pictures, and I'm not kidding when I say every single picture I've seen that they say is this guy is a different person. They say like, this is the guy, this is the guy, this is the guy, this is the guy, and every picture is a different person.
It's a different person.
Like, this literally can't be correct, because even if one of them is correct, 3 of them are wrong, right, guys, and you're just like throwing randos under the bus here, right? So I'm going to do a separate segment in a little bit on some of the updates in the case on the UnitedHealth CEO, but Ben Shapiro did a segment talking about this, and wow, did he mess around and find out. Because, look, he's Ben Shapiro, right? So he immediately goes into partisan hack mode. What are Republicans supposed to think about this? And what are Republicans supposed to say? I'm going to say the thing that Republicans say. I'm going to be the partisan guy. Partisan hack. Like, this is his whole shtick, right? His whole shtick is the doctrinaire, right-wing, conservative Republican. I'll give you the reaction. Now, here's the problem. He ran headfirst into the concrete wall of the reality that Americans all across this country, regardless of political affiliation, hate our healthcare system and our health insurance system. They hate it. They hate it. They hate it. It is universal as universal can be in how much they hate it, right? So to him, this is just another day in the office. He thinks, bro, I got this on lock. The title of the video is "The Evil Revolutionary Left Cheers Murder." So I'll play a little bit of the video, but the more important part is the way the audience reacted. We're going to go through some of the comments, and holy cow. Wow, was this a slap in the face to him. And also, by the way, the like to dislike is like, I want to say it's like 80 or 90% dislikes on his own video. Whoa. All right, let's get it.
The real question in all of this is how Americans respond. So Taylor Lorenz, we talked about her yesterday. She is a psychotic former reporter for the Washington Post and the New York Times. She's totally insane. She was insane on COVID. She was insane when it came to the supposed predations of people on the right who ought to, she said, be shut out of media and particularly social media. Well, now she is full-scale rallying in favor of the murderer. So she tweeted yesterday on Blue Sky, which is a weird left-wing echo chamber form of Twitter. There was a post put out by Blue Cross Blue Shield, all about whether it was going to pay for anesthesia under its healthcare coverage. And she then tweeted out, quote, "And people wonder why we want these executives dead." So openly cheering the death of Brian Thompson. That wasn't her only post. Somebody put out a statement saying, quote, "Legislation idea, healthcare executives and their families must be on the cheapest plan their company offers, and they aren't allowed to seek other care." And she wrote in all capital letters, "Endorse." Then she put out a post that showed a graphic of a happy star, like a star with a happy face and balloons, and the caption "CEO down." And she wrote, "Woke up to see this spammed in my group chats." And she said, "I am not alone."
That was all over Discord.
That other people were doing the same thing. Then she reposted a post from left-wing agitator Ken Klippenstein saying,
"Left-wing agitator."
"Today we remember the legacy of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson." And what exactly was that legacy? The claim denial rates by insurance companies. And of course, it's not just Taylor Lorenz. Socialist Nathan Robinson, a complete useless leech on the ass of society, posted himself, quote, "Live your life in such a way that people will be sad when you die." That was above a screen cap of a New York Times headline that said, "Torrent of hate for health insurance industry follows CEO's killing." That piece from the New York Times is all about people who apparently were perfectly fine with the murder of Brian Thompson on the streets of New York City. According to the New York Times, none of this stopped social media commentators from leaping to conclusions and showing a blatant lack of sympathy over the death of a man who was a husband and father of 2 children.
He was a husband and father. Yeah. Osama bin Laden was a husband and father. There was like universal rejoicing when he died. Like okay.
So weird.
Guys, this is all just cheap. This is cheap. Everybody knows it's cheap. Everybody sees through it, which is why his own audience turned on him.
The family read one comment underneath the video of the shooting posted online by CNN. "Unfortunately, my condolences are out of network."
Yeah.
A TikTok user wrote, quote, "I'm an ER nurse, and the things I've seen dying patients get denied for by insurance, it makes me physically sick. I just can't feel sympathy for him because of all those patients and their families." And these sorts of messages were incredibly common.
Yep. I mean, this is
like making the argument of the other side as he's like, "I don't like that. I don't like this."
We discussed yesterday a Columbia professor who wrote something very similar.
Have some decorum.
Unfortunately, bubbling under the surface of all this is something very serious, really serious. What is that serious thing? The revolutionary left is creeping into the mainstream. Yesterday we talked about liberals versus the left. Liberals are people who disagree with me on public policy, but aren't in favor of, the murder of their opponents. The left is a different thing. The shooting of Thompson has unleashed a wave of evil from members of the left. Thompson was not a criminal. He wasn't even an advocate of death, the way, for example, abortion or euthanasia advocates are.
Oh my God. So you get the gist of it. You get the gist of what he was saying. Ben, he absolutely 100% without a doubt was a merchant of death. He has blood on his hands. There are countless people who are dead because of him rejecting claims for profit. Yep. Remember, health insurance in this country, it's for profit. So it is an unnecessary, rapacious, for-profit middleman that price gouges you on the front end and does everything it can on the back end to deny you care when you need them most. That's the way the business model works, Ben. This part's not controversial. Everything I've said so far is just straight facts. And as facts don't care about your feelings. Well, stop pretending like facts do care about your feelings because you are anti-fact in this rant. Okay, here we go. Look at the replies. His own audience. It's not left or right. It's not black or white. It's rich versus poor. Your true colors are showing. I'm not buying this left versus right shit anymore, Ben. I want healthcare for my family.
There we go.
Not gonna lie, these comments are making me feel patriotic as fuck. Remember, folks, Ben's not out of touch. He knows exactly what he's doing. He has more in common with the CEO than 99% of us. Mm-hmm. Radical change is not about the left or right. Just because the left likes something doesn't mean you have to instinctively hate it. Wake up and read the room, bro.
Dude.
My God, conservatives, liberals, and lefties are hugging it out in the comments. My God, this is beautiful. Take. I'm glad the comment section noticed. The CEO was actually a criminal. That's correct. That's correct. I say this as a conservative. Ben Shapiro needs you to hate anything considered left-wing. It's his entire business model because he's a grifter. He will make a partisan issue out of absolutely
God, this is his own audience.
Anything if it can justify him putting another video out to continue stoking your rage.
Oh, dude,
this isn't a left versus right issue. It's the working class versus the wealthy, and that's probably why you're trying to pretend it's something it's not. Hate to break it to you, buddy, but it's not just the left who's sick of this. Mm-hmm. Seeing rich people be so out of touch on this topic and be so clearly afraid of potential class consciousness truly fills me with hope.
Oh,
wow.
Thank you. Yeah, to see the pushback is the part that gets me, where I'm just like, oh my God, they are panicking.
That goes on, bro. That goes on. It is universal.
I saw a comment that said his actions diminish whatever his message was. No, they got the message. The thing is, again, the fact is, if that did not happen, we wouldn't be having this broader conversation. So,
again, it's like...
honestly, like, I cannot stand the people that are just like, oh, you're just so morally reprehensible, when everybody even on their side is just like, nah, sometimes, every once in a while, there is just one person, when they're not here anymore, it makes the world a better place.
Like an 80 or 90% dislike rate on this video.
I've been screaming about how the oligarchs have been using their money to get the U.S. people to fight each other and not focus on them. This shooter has focused the American eyes on the oligarchs. He literally changed the entire narrative, and he did it at the perfect time in between an election where everybody's burnt out by the politics. Donald Trump is already showing his ass because what is he doing? He's putting a bunch of billionaires in. This whole drain the swamp thing. I never want to hear fucking drain the swamp from another right-winger ever again. And the second that I do, I'm going to shove this in their face. It's just like, Linda McMahon, really? Billionaires? Really? Vivek Ramaswamy? All these fucking guys that just happen to be these billionaire oligarchs? But no. Trans people are the problem. No. Poor people are the problem. Entitlements are the fucking problem. I'm so sick of the disingenuous fucking arguments that these assholes have been using for so long.
So now...
Sorry,
Matt Walsh released a similar video. Same goddamn thing. Everybody disagreeing with him in the comments. So look, thank you to the commenters. You are correct. Having said that, I do need to correct them on one thing.
He is Swamp Things. He runs the green.
I have to do it. The one thing I'm going to correct them on is this. This is a left-wing issue. Because the Republican Party and the right-wing generals...
Strain the swamp translation, add leeches to the swamp. Yep.
Right.
Hey, welcome, Diddles.
I'm not talking about you, regular folks.
Hey, it's BMO.
Talking about the politicians and the powers that be in the status quo. The right's plan for healthcare is literally do nothing, right? And sometimes they go a step further and they say, get rid of the best parts of Obamacare, like protecting your pre-existing conditions. So you can't get...
Literally, they're trying to do away with that part, but then they're just
denied.
like, well, we want to make sure that everybody is forced to have coverage, but to get a certain type of coverage.
Because you had something wrong with you in the past, right? So the right-wing proposal is, and I'm not kidding about this, give these mafia criminal health insurance companies more power and more control over your life. That is literally the Republican answer. I don't want you to take my word for it. If you're a conservative and you're listening to this, I don't want you to take my word for it. Go read Trump's healthcare plan that he released in 2017.
Seriously.
It's called the American Healthcare Act.
I don't want to because, again, it's all based on fucking doing the lulz, doing the trolling bullshit. That's all they care about. They don't give a shit about any of this until it's something on their bill, until they are tentatively paying more for something that they can actually see, like, oh, well, I guess Trump did make this more expensive.
It's called Trump Care for short.
Which sucks that's the ultimate win that we'll get on these douchebags is the second that they're paying more, but we are too.
I believe the exact number is the Kaiser Family Foundation did a poll. It had 8% support in the country. Why? Because one of the provisions got rid of the protections for pre-existing conditions.
Yep.
It made it so that the states would have to opt into it, and of course, every Republican...
Brian Whitney, I never want to hear about decorum from the Marjorie Taylor Greene Donald Trump party. I never want to hear about bipartisanship from the party that destroyed the Supreme Court. Not a word about the moral majority. Dude, nice.
State would opt out of it, and it would screw people over.
Wealthiest cabinet in American history, and I'm sure they'll change the system that made them billionaires. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I love how, but again, this is why the Democrats lost, though, is because they brought out fucking Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney, and that was, you know what? That was a lot of just showing us exactly. They were like, no, we're not going to do leftist policy. Why do the populism? I mean, also, they could have waited to show their, that on like the very last day, maybe even, but hey, at least we know now that the corporate Democrats are exactly who we thought they were.
This goofy idea of remove the lines around the state so you can buy insurance across state lines. That would not in any way, shape, or form improve the quality, lower the price. It's just a scam to make it so that all the health insurance companies would set up in a state where they get to pay the lowest amount of taxes. So it's
smoking that angry rosin.
It's just another trick to give more money and more power and more direct control of your life over to the health insurance companies. So I love you commenters. You're right in everything you're saying. Your anger is righteous and just, and I agree with you. Having said that, if you are against this health insurance CEO, if you're against the mafia criminal health insurance system in this country, you are a left-winger on this issue.
Yep.
You just are.
Yep.
Now, maybe you're not.
Yeah, I actually, that's kind of what I was saying to my buddy, where I'm like, you do realize that we're on the same page here, except I was here the entire time.
Not on other issues. Maybe you disagree on abortion or you disagree on guns or whatever.
I actually got recommended this channel. Not sure what the leaning is here, but I enjoy a bit of Donkey on Shapiro. I'm left of center, but I try to. Anytime I'm reporting on the news, I try to report on it from all angles. But yeah, I'm a leftist, so welcome, diddles. But
on this issue, you are left wing. You just are. Now,
also, if you are, cheers. We also cheers here. So cheers.
Why is Ben Shapiro such a slimy little partisan hack weasel? His whole thing is, facts don't care about your feelings. I'm the facts man.
Facts don't care about your feelings. You gotta go a little bit faster.
If you're the facts man, why don't you investigate why the reaction to this healthcare CEO being killed was so colossally universal that it surprised even me?
Because he knows.
Don't you have any intellectual curiosity? It's truly not just the revolutionary left that's reacting like this, right?
Yeah.
The answer is simple. Everybody has a horror story. Everybody knows somebody else who has a horror story. Medical bills are the number one cause of bankruptcy in this country. People get claims denied, and then they have family members die.
Yep.
This is why. You can't hide that reality from people.
And the part that's going unspoken here that really bothers me is the fact that so many people are just inherently scared of the system that they just don't even want to bother with it. So they will sit there until they are so sick that they need to go in. I'll just be honest about it. This is what happened to my grandma. My grandma didn't trust doctors. And it was specifically because of the insurance industry and like how she's just like, they just try and get you to do a shit. They're worse than mechanics. She used to say that to me all the time. She's like, they're worse than mechanics. You got to be careful. And it was kind of like, well, okay. But when she had treatable breast cancer that moved to her liver, that was something that kind of also woke me up, where I'm just like, and to be fair, my grandmother did have the money to do this. It was just more so a principle thing with her. But it doesn't take away from the fact that she was making a broader point on the American healthcare system and how just messed up it really is. Fair, I'm pretty much somewhere between libertarian and social libertarian myself, more left populist on economic policy, though. Nice. Again, I don't have to agree with you on everything, man, and I appreciate you being here. And I also like having, open discussions with people that are of a little bit of a different political take, but it's usually the ones that are just like so steeped in Trumpism and they just come in bad faith, like the cult members. Those people I can't even engage with. The
reality of the material conditions from people. So, Mr. Facts don't care about your feelings. Let me tell you some facts.
Actually, Diddles, I was just about to ask what Brian Whitney here did. Diddles, what do you mean by like classical libertarian?
That he buried. Here's one. In the U.S., we could have saved 338,000 lives from COVID if we just had universal health care.
Yep.
That's it. If we just had universal health care, we could have saved 338,000 lives. Yep. Because there were a lot of people who had COVID who probably needed to go to the hospital, but they're like, you know what? I can't go to the hospital. I don't have insurance. I can't afford the bill. And so they stayed home and they died. 338,000 lives could have been saved if we had Medicare for all in this country when COVID hit. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that.
Nope.
I don't know. That kind of seems like a big deal that we would save nearly 500,000 lives during the pandemic. And again, nobody discusses this. All right, I got more for you. Ready? Medicare for all would save $450 billion annually while preventing 68,000 deaths every year. New study finds. We have 68,000 deaths in this country because a lot of people
I thought we were about saving
basic
money.
Health insurance and they don't have access to basic health care. 68,000 deaths every single year. Those lives could be saved if we had Medicare for all. Because the way you prioritize who to give health care to in single-payer countries is by need. Whoever needs it gets it, right? If you have an elective procedure, you might have to wait a little bit, but that's okay. It's elective. It's not a big deal. But if you need the help, you get it. In this country, we do what's called a wallet biopsy. The more money you make, the quicker you are to get your care. And even if you need the care, but you don't have the money, you don't have the insurance, you're not getting the care. Or you're going to have to wait for that. Their systems are just better. They are just better. Now, you might say, well, hold on. Why would single payer save so much money? I don't understand why it would save so much money. Guys, you get rid of the unnecessary rapacious for-profit middleman. The other thing is you drastically reduce what's called the administrative costs. So under Medicare that we have already, so Medicare is free healthcare for old people funded by tax dollars, there's only about 2% overhead for administrative costs. 2%. In the private for-profit health insurance industry, it's like 18%.
I dare say even higher than that.
Why should you have to get price gouged so that a third executive can get a second yacht and a Maserati and a third vacation home? Why the fuck would that? Why would you want that?
Seventh.
Why would you want that?
Vacation
These people are criminals.
Yeah.
These people are robbing you.
And more money than God.
This system is disgusting. 68,000 lives would be saved with Medicare for all every year.
Yeah.
$450 billion.
You do realize that we could get all this and they could still have their freaking lavish lives and they would never know the difference. But it's literally keeping up with these numbers, like to impress each other. It's the ultimate version of keeping up with the Joneses, where everybody is just trying to chase Elon Musk. And on top of it, when people look at Elon Musk and his just lack of natural charisma, the fact that no matter how many billions of dollars that dumb motherfucker has, he still can't buy cool.
$1 saved every year.
That's just a personal.
Well, get rid of the mafia middleman price gouging you for no reason and blowing a shitload of money on unnecessary administrative costs. I'm not done. Look at this. This is U.S. per capita healthcare spending, and it's over twice the average of other developed countries. So on average, per capita healthcare spending in developed countries is about $6,400. Here we spend $12,500. And guess what? Our life expectancy is lower.
It's lower. Yeah.
And our health outcomes are worse. The system's a joke.
Yeah. And on top of it, they also don't like to talk about this, how our life expectancy is only like 3 years over what the Social Security ages. So we're working to get maybe 3 years expected of us in this system. Like, do we see it yet? Do we see it yet? I think that we're almost there. I think that it's not just class consciousness. I think that we're starting to realize,
the system is literally criminal. If I was telling you to start...
ZMBF, the system is designed to keep poor people poor and make rich people richer.
From scratch and create a society.
Yeah. Also, welcome to the stream. I appreciate you being here. Follow me on Twitch. And also, thank you for being here.
What are the things you'd put on the list of like, look, this should be funded, this should be the commons, this should be funded by taxpayers, and everybody should have a right to the following? What would you put on the top of that list? One of the top things would obviously be healthcare, right? You have a single payer, a single insurer. Mm-hmm. Your tax money goes to the government, then your money goes to give everybody healthcare.
Yeah. Makes no sense.
Right? It's a duh perspective. But in this country, corporations, billionaires, big money interests bought the government and rigged it in their favor. And so that's why you have these super powerful health insurance companies. They get to make your life a living hell.
And now they are the government again. And they didn't even have to spend that much money. When I found out that Linda McMahon, all she donated was $1 million, only $1 million to Trump's super PAC, that was enough to make her the Department of Education head.
On a daily basis, price gouge you and deny you care. And then also somehow get treated like they're not criminals, like they're serious people. I said this the other day, but crime in this country is illegal if you wear...
Could you imagine if Biden literally just was like, yeah, they donated $1 million to me, I'm going to make them whatever head of whatever position. Like, see, that's why I never, ever took them seriously when they would talk about that kind of crap.
And it looks like everybody's onto that fact. It looks like everybody understands, hey, fraud is a business model on Wall Street.
Yep.
Hey, how many tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of people got foreclosed on because of banker criminals who just wanted to make a buck? And they were playing hot potato with these assets. Seems like people are onto it. Wall Street is not your friend. The billionaires are not your friend. The big banks are not your friend. The health insurance companies are definitely not your friend. The private prison industry, definitely not your friend. Right? There are some industries in this country that simply should not exist. We should not have for-profit capitalist prisons. We should not have for-profit capitalist health insurance. They are a scourge. It's ironic. Didn't he call...
No, and I love how people can just stop just short of that because they're like fire department, police department, healthcare.
Somebody a leech in this? What did he say? Ken Clippens, he was a leech. Somebody was a leech. Nathan Robinson was a leech or whatever he said. No, the leech is the UnitedHealth CEO. The leech is the entire business model of health insurance in this country. The leech is that whole industry, for-profit health insurance, the whole fucking industry. Everybody's got a horror story. Number one cause of bankruptcy. So many people died from having their claims rejected. We're sick of it. We're fucking sick of it.
Yeah.
So what I want to say to all the Ben Shapiro fans who are reacting correctly in that comment section, welcome.
Yeah, welcome, and also hold steady, because honestly, we're getting very close to getting something done with this, but if you guys keep just allowing the gaslighting and buying into it, just so fucking open mouth, just like, Republican, propaganda, give it to me. God, you bunch of baby bird
you might not be left-wing on other issues. Fair enough, right? We can have that conversation, we can have that debate, we can have that disagreement, but don't let anybody fool you. On this one issue, not only are you a lefty, you're a socialist.
Yep.
On the issue of healthcare and health insurance, you're a socialist. You are. Now, take that mentally, make peace with it, do whatever you want with it, but I'm just telling you the reality. But here's the thing. All these facts I just showed you, all these facts, all the lives that could have been saved during COVID if we had universal health care, all the people that die every year because we don't have universal health care, all the money that would be saved, etc. All these things I told you, these are facts, and Mr. Facts don't care about your feelings
facts don't care about. No, you gotta say it right. Facts don't care about your feelings.
Within 1,000 miles of telling you any of these things. Ask yourself why that is.
Hold on. Good comment. Healthcare is a leech. The clinic I work at works on a system of get grants, open a new branch to fulfill patient quota, and to keep getting grants, and so on and so forth.
Let me tell you the difference between me and Ben Shapiro. The difference is this show that I'm on is funded by you. It's funded by Patreon.
Same. By the way, I am funded entirely by you guys. So if you feel like you want to donate, I take Bezo Bucks on the on Twitch. I know I'm not sure if I'm calling it the Bezos Bucks because I just want to take them. So if you guys want to give me that Amazon money and really just piss off the system by supporting a leftist, please help me out with that. And yeah, I also have memberships and all that fun stuff on the YouTube side here. So
$5 a month. It's funded by tips with the thanks button on YouTube. It's funded by the default ads on YouTube. I've never had a conversation with an advertiser. I've never had a conversation.
I have, and I only have my one advertiser, and it's Ground News, who I use specifically to break through all the BS on the internet. So
with a billionaire. I've never had a conversation with a foreign government.
Hey, what's up, Devil Man?
Ben Shapiro cannot say the same. Ben Shapiro, every fucking 5 minutes, stops to jam into shitty ads, right? He's got direct deals. He talks directly to corporations and advertisers and billionaires, probably foreign governments too. He's for sale. I'm not for sale. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you who's really screwing you. Ben Shapiro is nothing but 24/7. Every problem ever that ever existed is always the fault of some blue-haired college kid who screams on a college campus and wants to ban Milo Yiannopoulos from talking. Every problem is the blue-haired college kid. Every problem is the liberals and the Democrats. This is his whole fucking business model. And he is the classic example of divide and conquer to help the ruling class.
Yeah.
Divide and conquer to help the ruling class and screw over the working class. Culture war, get you fighting over that while Ben Shapiro and all of his buddies run out the back door with all the fucking money in this oligarchy.
Yep. Hey, yo, Duke. Hey, I think the dog just sensed that you're here.
Only one of us wants you to have health care. Only one of us wants you to have a social security check. And yes, I'm talking about everybody, not just social security for the wealthy. I want social security for all. Only one of us wants to get the corruption out of the system and have a government that actually represents the people. True democracy. Only one of us wants that. Only one of us wants you to have higher wages. I'm in favor of a higher minimum wage. I'm in favor for unionization for everybody. So their wages go up, their benefits go up, they get more vacation time. Only one of us wants that. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want that. So perhaps you've outgrown slimy, little, weaselly propaganda boy Ben Shapiro. And if that's the case, I welcome you here with open arms. Hey, y'all.
Just small victories, Kyle. Small victories, but also I do appreciate, definitely try and bring more people to that side. Also, I like that Kyle is doing this more, where he's trying to sway people who are already, populist in these regards and just be like, we agree on more than we disagree on. We really need to start, bringing that up. I really appreciate you guys checking out my content. If you guys can let me know in the comments below what you thought, that'd be much appreciated. Leave a like and sub to the channel if you haven't already. Either way, I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.